Hello and welcome, fellow goddesses, to today's Goddess Flow. It's Alicia. I will be guiding you through your practice today. So please do feel free, if you have an extra device laying around, maybe if you're streaming on your computer and you have your phone handy, head over to the Spotify playlist that's in the virtual library. So this playlist has kind of been created for this practice, and feel free to just throw it on shuffle. Sometimes if you play the music on the same device that you're playing the video, the music is a little overpowering. It doesn't really let you adjust the volume for each one individually. So that being said, your best bet is to find another device to stream that Spotify playlist on, but I do encourage you to do that. Other than that, I just want to start today's practice by saying, please, please, please just allow yourself to feel into your practice today. I encourage you to have the music playing, to get out of your mind and into your body and feel and move the way that your body's asking you to move. So you'll notice me being a little dancey, moving my arms different ways, or maybe just finding movement. Don't feel like you have to move the same way that I'm moving, okay? Move how you're feeling called to move. We are going to tap into our feminine creative power today, okay? All right, let's start by getting grounded. So if you're not already in your comfortable seated position, let's make our way there. Hands on top of the thighs, closing the eyes, relax the shoulders. Taking an inhale through the nose and then open the mouth and let it out. Good. Allow yourself to just drop down. Starting to connect with the body. Sending our awareness down into our root and sacral chakra. Root chakra glows red, sacral chakra glows orange. Allow that root chakra to grow brighter and stronger, allowing us to feel more grounded and rooted and connected to Mother Earth. Drawing the awareness up to the sacral chakra now. Noticing it growing stronger and brighter. Maybe bigger, maybe swirling faster. This ball of energy. This is our source of creative energy. This is our source of power as women. This is where all of creation comes from. This is our womb space. It is where we create. It is also where our intuitive, creative powers come from. Dropping down into this space. Allow yourself to feel connected to your divine feminine power. With no worries throughout your practice of what you're doing, what it looks like, whether it's right or wrong. Just allow yourself to move, flowing through your practice, staying connected to this creative primal energy, our Shakti. Taking an inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and let it go. Allow the eyes to gently open. Staying here in our seat, we're just going to walk the hands forward a little bit, keeping the hips and the sits bones planted into the mat. Allow the head to hang heavy. Gently start to walk it over to the side. And then bringing it to the other side. Still keeping both sits bones planted and grounded. Walk it back to center. And then walk it back in. All right. Let's make our way up to standing. So for this flow, we've created a variation of moon salutations. So let's come to the top of the mat in mountain pose. Grounding into all four corners of each foot, lifting the toes here a little bit, palms facing forward, relax the shoulders. Engage the core, tailbone reaches down towards the mat. Check in. Inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale, take a back bend. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, fold forward. Hang out here, start to find some movement, right? So remember our meditation, move however your body's asking you to move. Hands releasing down on the mat. Step the right foot back. Drop it down into your lunge. Opening up into the right hip flexor. Keeping the knee stacked over the ankle here if you can, but find some movement. Maybe rocking the hips or sending the legs front to back, whatever feels good. Back foot steps in about halfway or a third of the way. Drop the heel, straighten the front leg. Pyramid pose. Turning the back toes out 90 degrees. Hand coming to the inside of the foot. Open it up for triangle. Bending into the left knee, sweeping the right arm through for extended side angle. Press it up, warrior two. Straightening into the legs, turn the toes out 45 degrees and drop down into goddess pose. Again, just moving however you feel called to move. Hopefully you have some music going. Straightening into the legs. Take it warrior two towards the back of the mat, right leg bends. And then bring it into extended side angle. Straightening into the front leg, triangle pose. Both hands releasing down onto the mat. Square the hips, bring that back foot in a little bit. Coming into pyramid pose towards the back. Bending the knee, drop it down into your lunge. Keeping the hands on the mat, step the right foot back to meet the left. Coming into plank, drop the knees. Hands come forward just a little bit, releasing the elbows, the chest, and the chin down towards the mat for puppy pose. Anahatasana, keeping the hips stacked over the knees here. Shifting forward onto the belly, pressing up with the hands. And let's send the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and let it out. Stepping the right foot forward, coming back into your lunge, working our way back around a little bit faster this time. Back foot steps in, drop the heel, straighten the front leg, pyramid. Turning the back toes out, lifting with the ribcage, triangle pose. Uttata Trikonasana. Bending the right knee, coming into extended side angle. Pressing it up for warrior two. And straighten into the legs. Drop it down into goddess pose. Rolling the feet towards the outsides. Keeping the knees nice and open, opening up into the hips. We are going to get into these hips today in this goddess flow. All right. And warrior two towards the front. Extended side angle. Good. Straightening into the leg and open it up for triangle pose. Both hands coming down towards the mat. Bring that back foot in a little bit and straighten the front leg. Pyramid. Good. Bending the knee. Drop it down, lunge. Stepping that foot back. Release the knees down onto the mat. And let's bring it into puppy pose. Shifting forward, pressing the hands into the mat, lifting with the chest. Send it back, downward facing dog. Let's take a cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose. Inhale, lift the heels, looking forward. Tiptoe it forward. And coming back into your forward fold. Arms reaching up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, lengthen up. And exhale, release it down. Okay. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Dropping the hips down, turn the toes out. Coming into our yogi squat. Relaxing the shoulders down and away from the ears, hands at heart center in Anjali Mudra. Check in and notice how you're feeling in your yogi squat today. Hands coming back to the mat. Let's step the feet back. Drop the knees. Puppy pose. Shift it forward and press up with the hands. Keeping those shoulders down. Again, find some movement here if it feels good. And let's send it into downward dog. Alright, sweeping that right leg up towards the ceiling. Get a nice stretch here in the legs. Bend the knee and stack the hip. If Wild Thing is in your practice, come on into Wild Thing. If you're in Wild Thing, bring it back over. We'll inhale, straighten that right leg. And exhale, bring it forward between the hands. Keep the back heel lifted off the mat. Engage the core. Arms sweep up for crescent lunge. Release the hands down onto the mat along with the back knee. Right arm reaches up. Take a twist. Hands coming to the inside of that right foot. Walk it out wide. Making your way into lizard pose. So maybe you come down on the forearms or maybe you stay up on the hands. If you have some blocks, you can also bring the forearms to blocks if you're somewhere in between. Good. And then we'll walk that right foot over towards the left hand. Release the knee down by the right hand. Square the hips. And start to come down nice and even into your pigeon pose. Feel free to take some movement here with pigeon. Maybe find a little back bend or lift that back leg and go for a mermaid pose, whatever feels good. And then whenever you feel complete with that, just bring it on forward. We're going to hold this one for about a minute. So take your time here. Find your breath. Start to lift the chest, bringing the hands back onto the mat. Let's tuck those back toes, send that right foot back, coming straight into our downward dog. Take a breath and allow that blood to get back into the leg, circulation to return. All right, let's sweep that left leg up. Bending the knees, stacking the hips. Wild thing if it's in your practice. Coming back into our three-legged dog. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, step it forward. Keeping the back heel lifted, engage the core. Sweep the arms up for crescent lunge. Again, just find whatever movement feels good for you in your practice today. So it may look like mine, it may not, probably not if you're really listening, tuning into yourself. Both hands release down onto the mat. Drop the back knee and the top of the foot. Left arm sweeps up for a twist. Both hands coming to the inside of the left foot. Let's walk it out wide. Getting down in our lizard pose. Start to lift the chest, coming back up onto the hands. Walk that foot over. Drop the knee. Square the hips. Come down nice and even. Again, feel free to play around with your lizard pose a little bit if you'd like. And then whenever you feel complete, you can come into your sleeping pigeon or swan pose, as they call it in yin. Hanging out here for a little bit. Hopefully you got some good music going on and you're just kind of jamming out. Start to lift the chest, coming back up onto the hands. Tuck the right toes and send that left foot back straight into downward dog. Take a cleansing breath. Inhale, lift the heels, looking forward, walk it forward. Coming into your forward fold. Bending the knees, bring the chest onto the thighs, and then roll it up to standing. All right. Coming into the balancing part of our sequence today. If you've not done Goddess Flow with me before, this is probably going to be a new pose for you. It's not something that you see very often. So, that being said, it's called Dancing Shiva. We're going to shift over onto the left leg. Bringing the right leg up, bending into the knees, arms coming up. Dancing Shiva. Step that foot back and open it up for Goddess. Fun little movement. Get into your Goddess. And then shift it back forward into Dancing Shiva. Try to keep that foot off the mat. Holding. And step it back for goddess. And let's bring it forward again for dancing Shiva. And step it back for goddess. Find some movement in your goddess pose. And bring it forward again for dancing Shiva. Alright, this time holding here for 3, 2, 1. Straightening into the left leg. We're coming into a detached tree. Bring that right knee out to the side. Foot stays off the left leg. And we're going to make our way towards an arabesque. And bring it into warrior 3. And try not to fall. But if you fall, it's okay. Jump back in whenever you're ready. Reaching the right hand down towards the mat, lifting the left arm up for a revolved half moon. This is a little tricky of a transition. If you do it wrong, it's going to be weird. So keep your hands right where they are. Right hand down, left arm up. Bend into the left knee and just allow yourself to kind of fall down into fallen warrior. Play around a little bit if you want with that left arm. Hello, Onyx. Both hands coming down to the mat, pivoting on the heels to the other side of the mat, coming into Skandasana or flying monkey. Yeah, hi babies. I know you want to do some yoga. Oh, that's a good cat stretch. Play around here a little bit, maybe even lifting the arms up so you can really get into flying monkey however you want. It's a very like ninja-y move. All right, straightening into the legs. Lifting up halfway, straightening and extending into the spine, and then fold it forward for your wide-legged forward fold. If a headstand is in your practice, you can interlace the fingers here and bring it up into your headstand. Otherwise, just stay right here in your wide-legged forward fold. Few more breaths. If you're in your headstand, start to make your way back. Bringing the hands down onto the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Hands to the hips. Exhale, bring it up all the way. And send it forward on the mat. So we're going to go into the other side, but you stay where you are. I'm going to go to the back of the mat so that I can do it on the other side and still be facing you. Okay? Yes, hi. I know. Oh my gosh, you're so vocal. Okay, so now we're going to shift our way over onto the right leg and come into dancing Shiva, lifting that left leg up and then send it back into goddess. Going down nice and deep in our goddess pose. Shift it forward for dancing Shiva. And send it back into goddess pose. You can sense the goddess energy and you just want some of it, huh? Okay. Dancing Shiva. And goddess pose last time. Dancing Shiva last time. Hold it, hold it. Straight into the right leg, detached tree. Hold it, hold it. Arabesque. Into warrior 3. tricky transitions. But we can do it because we are goddesses. Left hand reaching down towards the mat, right arm coming up. Revolved half moon. Again, keeping this hand down and this hand up. Just bend into that standing leg and drop it down into fallen warrior. We're literally just falling into it. Falling into our fallen warrior. And coming down, pivot on those feet and make your way into flying monkey, Skandasana on the other side. Perfect. Find a little bit of movement here. If you want to do like a really cool Instagram photo, you can come into a flying monkey, lift this heel, do this little fun stuff with the hands. It's a good one. Play around with it. See how you feel. And then straighten into the legs, lift up halfway. Extend the spine, inhale. And exhale, fold forward. And on this wide-legged forward fold, if you're working towards your middle split, go ahead and make your way into it. Wherever you are is fine, right? And you don't have to. You can stay in your wide-legged forward fold. Good. From your split, when you're ready, bring it back up. We'll all meet back in our forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, hands to the hips and bring it up. And let's bring it back towards the front of the mat. All right. Shake it out if you have some extra energy. Do some booty wiggles. Okay. Arms up, hips back to your pose. Bring the navel in toward the spine. And when you're ready, lift those heels, coming up onto the balls of the feet. Hands coming down through heart center. Let's lower it down, nice and easy. Coming into our toe squat. So we're keeping the heels lifted up off the mat here. Hang out. Build up those muscles in the feet. Maybe even find a little bounce here. Woo. All right, and release the knees down onto the mat. Knees coming hip distance apart. Feet as well, coming all the way up onto the knees, preparing for camel pose. Hands coming to the lower back, fingertips facing the floor. Squeeze the elbows and the shoulders together. Inhale, engage it all. Exhale, press those hips forward. Reaching up and back with the chest. If you want to release the hands to the ankles, you can, but press those hips forward, keeping them stacked over the knees. Opening up through the front of the hips. Allow the head to fall back. Tucking the chin to the chest. Bring it up nice and easy. Hands to the mat, knees and feet coming wide as we come into frog pose. So this is another one that you don't really see often enough, in my opinion. Coming down into our frog pose. This is a really good one to practice if you are working towards that middle split. We're going to hold here. And then release the belly down onto the mat, taking the legs behind you. Hands coming underneath of the shoulders. Press it up. Option, if you want to bend into the knees and try to reach the toes toward the head. And then we'll release it back down. Press it up and back into child's pose. Hanging out here for a few breaths. You can keep the knees wide. If it feels good though, you can also bring the knees together. Bring your arms down at your side, palms up, really round into that spine. Couple more breaths here. Take a moment to just check in. And then we'll round it all the way up. Nice and easy. Perfect. Okay, tuck those toes and sit the hips back on the heels. Get a nice little stretch in through the feet, maybe even through the arms if you want to take a little extra. Okay. Shifting back onto the feet, bring those feet out wide again, turn the toes out. Yogi squat. So this is our second yogi squat of our practice. Maybe just try to check in and notice how this one might feel different from the first one. Or maybe it doesn't feel different at all. Either way is fine. No judgment, just noticing. Just checking in. Now from here, if Bakasana crow pose is in your practice, feel free to come into a crow pose. Only if it's in your practice. If you find yourself feeling like you're gonna fall forward, make sure that you are looking up, 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 up with the head. Whenever you're done with your crow pose, make your way back into your squat. We'll take an inhale here and exhale it out. Allow yourself to just boop on your seat. And we're gonna get into those hips even more. So this is another little kind of tricky and not done so often pose, so I'll give a modification for it, but we are gonna try to come into fire log pose. So if you sit and imagine a 90-degree angle in front of you, you want your knee and your foot to be that 90-degree angle, right? Then you want your other foot and your other knee to be the 90-degree angle going the opposite direction. So more than likely, you've got a big gap here. You may even have a big gap here. If you have blocks, you can place your blocks in between. I personally don't like to use blocks. I like to just let gravity do the work for me. So we're opening the hips without having to do anything but just sitting here. If it's too uncomfortable though, then give yourself some support with some props, maybe even pillows or blankets would work. If it's really just too much and you can't make your way into fire log, you could go for a Gomukhasana, just bringing the legs across, trying to stack the knees. Wherever you're at is fine on that. Really just want to make sure your right leg is on top right now, that you feel an opening into the right hip. So however that looks for you, maybe try to bring this across. If you can do fire log, do fire log. If you're in fire log and you're not feeling anything in your hip, and you have a little bit of a gap here, but maybe you're feeling it somewhere else, you should really be feeling it in the outsides of your hips. So look at the feet and make sure it's ankle bone on top of knee, knee on top of ankle bone, okay? Then from here, if you want a little bit deeper of a stretch, you could walk it forward, keep those sits bones down onto the mat. Here's where you're gonna feel a lot more opening into that outside of the right hip. One more breath here. Start to walk the hands back in. We're gonna keep the right leg on top of the left, bring it over even more. Bring that left foot in towards your seat as we come into a seated twist. Right hand stays down next to your seat. Inhale that left arm up. Exhale, twist it. From here, if a bind is in your practice, feel free to take a bind. You can always work towards a bind with a strap too if you have one handy. Each inhale, find a little bit more length in the spine. Each exhale, find a little deeper of a twist. And then gently release, bring it back to center. Legs coming out wide. Flex the feet, sit up nice and tall. Hands to the center, start to walk it forward. If you have a block, this is a good place to maybe let your head rest on it. Give yourself a little bit of comfort or support. Couple more breaths. And we'll start to walk it back in. All right, bring that left leg across the right this time, coming into our seated twist on the other side. Left hand releases down next to your seat, right arm reaches up. Inhale and exhale, twist. Nice deep breaths. Exhale, release. Bring it back to center. Fire log, other side. Again, going for that nice knee over ankle, ankle over knee. Once you feel like you're there, you can either just sit and chill, hang out, or if you want to try to bring the chest forward, you can. Gently start to walk the hands back in and bring the soles of the feet together. We are going to take our peace sign fingers, hook them onto the big toes, take the thumb, seal that tip of the toe, send the torso back, keeping the spine nice and straight and extended here. Stick the chest out a little bit, right? We are goddesses. Woo. Come back, upright seated angle. Maybe the bend isn't all the way there in the knees, that's fine. You can keep them, or maybe the bend is in the knees, and that's fine. You can keep them bent if you need, if you don't have them all the way straight. It's not gonna hurt anything. Releasing the toes, bringing the feet together, coming into Navasana boat pose. Holding, and then bring it on down. All right, we are going to come into a shoulder stand. If you have a shoulder stand in your practice, bring it on up. You know what to do. If you don't have a shoulder stand in your practice, then we're going to do bridge, and I'll show you how to start working towards your shoulder stand. So bending the knees, bringing the feet, heels in close to the sits bones, pressing the feet into the mat, lifting the hips, We want to bring these hands underneath, so maybe even coming up onto the toes, getting those hands underneath of the lower back, walking the elbows in as close as you can. From here, you can lift one leg at a time. You're fully supported on your hands here, right? So you could lift both legs up because you're holding up your lower body with your hands. Then, if you feel ready, you can start to straighten into the legs, walk the hands up the back, coming into your shoulder stand. If plow is in your practice, come into plow. If it's not, stay in your bridge or your shoulder stand. Quick ear pressure pose if anybody wants it. And then we'll roll it down onto our backs. Bring the knees out wide, grab the outsides of the feet, happy baby. Find some movement here. Okay. And then we're going to make our way into one of two poses. If you have a block, I'm going to show you how to come into a supported fish pose. So let me grab my blocks. You can do this with one block or two blocks. If you only have one block, I would recommend using a pillow behind the head. This is not really something that's very easy to modify if you don't have the props. So I'll show the pose. And if you don't have any blocks, a single block or two blocks, just go ahead and make your way straight into your Shavasana. For the rest of us, we're going to take this one block, put it right in between the shoulder blades. So we definitely don't want it in the middle of the back, and we don't want it up on the neck. Okay, we want it right in between the shoulder blades. The top of the block should be even with the top of your shoulders. You can slowly come down on it like that. I like to just kind of adjust it. I've done this enough times, I know where my block is supposed to be. This guy is for your head, or you can use a pillow. Allow the legs to come straight up. Arms out at your side, palms up. Getting a nice heart opener here. So it's not very often that we have this opportunity to really get into the thoracic spine in this way. I highly recommend grabbing some blocks if you don't have any. Pick some up off of Amazon. Pretty sure you can order them off the website, off of Spirit Tribe's website as well. And for this specific pose, I do recommend the 4-inch thickness and not the 3-inch thickness. So usually, let's see, yoga blocks are 9 by 6 by 3 or 9 by 6 by 4. For this pose, the 9 by 6 by 4 works best. The 3 feels a little flimsy sometimes. A few more breaths here. When you're feeling ready, bring the arms in close to the body. We're going to bend into the elbows to lift the back up off the block. Remove the block from underneath of you. Allow yourself to come back down onto your mat all the way, coming down into your Shavasana. If you'd like, as an added option for your Shavasana, you can bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to come out. Just relax in a supine Baddha Konasana. Option to bring the arms out at your side, palms up, or maybe bring them right over your sacral chakra here. Keeping that connection to the divine feminine energy within. closing the eyes, returning the breath back to normal. Softening into the forehead and the eyebrows. Unclench the teeth. Release the tongue from the roof of your mouth and relax the jaw. Nothing left to do in your practice today but just be right here, right now, in this very moment, in this very place, doing nothing but just existing. Allowing all other worries or things on your to-do list to just melt away for the next few moments. Know that this feeling is available to you at all times. By getting out of your mind and into your body, closing your eyes and taking a couple deep breaths. Please feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. There is no rush. I will be ending the video feed. I will be available via chat if you have any questions or comments for the next 5 to 10 minutes. So stay here. Allow yourself this time to not have to do anything. Just being is enough. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through your practice today. It was my honor and privilege. The goddess in me sees and honors the goddess in you. Namaste.